Eyup, my name is Hutch and I hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good weekend. Mine was okay. Played a lot of Animal Crossing and then celebrated Mother's Day by watching an Animal Crossing film, or should I say the Animal Crossing film. I think there's only one. And then I spent the rest of it thinking about what I wanted to do on my island on Animal Crossing. So yeah, it was pretty good. It was enjoyable and I had a good rest and all that kind of stuff. But I also managed to get a few responses on an Instagram poll that I did. I asked people what building tips that they would like. I also asked on Facebook in a group that I'm in and got a couple of responses there as well. So I've got a good idea of what people want to see. But if you're watching this and you're thinking that you have areas where you struggle to build in The Sims 4, feel free to comment on this video and let me know, because I am in the process of making a building tips video. It will probably just be like a general tips video rather than like a dedicated one to like a specific issue that people might have. That way I can cover more things. So yeah, let me know if you have anything that you might struggle with, say landscaping or roofing, or just even getting like started with the build, really anything that you struggle with, and I can see if I can come up with a bit of advice in my video. So for this video I decided to go with a base game house. I haven't done one of those for a while. I asked on Instagram as well. By the way, if you want to follow me on Instagram, my name on there is SimsHutchYT and it'll be linked in the description as always. But yeah, I asked on Instagram, in my Instagram stories, if people would prefer a base game build or a Solani build, just because I've not built there before, and I just kind of want to build something there. But yeah, I asked people what they would prefer, and base game was the most popular option that came out. It was quite close though, so I'm still going to build, probably for my next video in The Sims, I'll probably do building Solani something in that world. So yeah, as you can tell from the thumbnail and the initial screenshot, I went with, or at least tried to go with, a Craftsman style home. So Craftsman is an American style inspired by the arts and crafts movement that happened in the 19th century. I'm not fully clued up about it. I'm not like a design expert. I'm not really educated on like design terminology and stuff like that. I just kind of go off what I read online and from like architecture magazines and stuff like that and websites and whatever. But yeah, I tried to kind of go with that style of house. So it's not strictly like sticking to that. It was more of an inspiration than anything. So like exposed beams, a covered porch, large eaves on the roofs, just like a lot of elements from those types of homes, because I think that they look really nice. So this house is built on a 40 by 30 lot. It's actually built on the lot where the Spencer Kim Lewis family live in Willow Creek. But of course you can place it wherever you like. It's entirely base game, like I said, and it has 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. I've got to say as well, the roof was really, really fiddly with this one. I messed about quite a bit with the roof. I think I had to cut quite a bit of it out. Just like me going back and forth, changing things and stuff like that. In the end I had it figured out, but it just, I don't know why, I was just struggling with it. I had something in my mind that I wanted to do and it wasn't really working out, so I had to like mess around with it quite a bit. I know quite a lot of people say that they struggle with roofing, so yeah, for this one I really did like relate to that. I usually find roofing quite daunting to start off with, but once I get started I'm usually alright with it. Obviously with some houses it's trickier than others, like smaller houses tend to be easier. If you have a lot of like bump outs to the build, I guess, like different extensions and parts of it where it's sticking out, they can be a bit tricky to do. I also wanted to kind of, I don't know, like I wanted it to be like one complete roof piece rather than loads of different individual pieces, so I tried to kind of do that at the top part as best I could. So I think for my building tips video I'll definitely have to add some kind of roofing advice. It also took me quite a while to decide on what windows to use, so I cut some of that out of the footage as well. I think I was just I don't know, I was just a bit indecisive on what I wanted. I initially was going to go with white windows, but then I thought it was just too white, and I wanted to bring in some like brown woods, and just kind of like tie it into what I kind of planned out in my head. Like I imagined that the roof was going to be, because I'd not done the roof colour yet, I don't think, so I kind of wanted to tie it all in with those shades, and just to like add a little bit of dimension rather than just having everything white. Like there's white beams, there's white fencing, there's like some white wood on the tops of the roofs, and yeah, I think that's it for the white. But I just thought adding that little bit of like wood would just kind of break it up a little bit and not be too kind of I guess not plain, but I don't really know. I guess plain is the word for it. And yeah, so with the landscaping, I wanted to be quite neat and tidy kind of thing. So I avoided my usual style and went for a more, I guess, purposeful style, I guess. I don't really know. Like the plants haven't just been kind of left to grow naturally and they've been put there with purpose. They've been put there by the same as they've planted them themselves. You know, there's more kind of order to them, like you would find in an actual garden bed. It wouldn't just be a bunch of plants that have just been growing over time or whatever. I also didn't want to spend hours and hours landscaping, because I will if I let myself. Like I will spend all day doing it if I let myself. So yeah, I know some people really do struggle with landscaping, but I really just enjoy it. I don't know why. I actually find it quite therapeutic. I'm not sure if that's the right word for it. I do just enjoy it, and it kind of makes me feel like calm and stuff. So yeah, it is therapeutic, isn't it? I'm not sure why, but it is probably like the most enjoyable building aspect for me. I feel like I don't necessarily need to think about it too much, and the plants in the game are just really easy to work with. They kind of match each other really well. Even outside of base game, I think all of the plants look really good. And yeah, for the trees though, I did kind of want that like overgrown look kind of style to it, where I just put a bunch of plants down. There's no real like kind of structure to it. I just think it looks kind of more natural in that sense. Just because I think like when it comes to having trees in your garden, often there is quite a lot of like plants and foliage and stuff. And then obviously I had a little plant border around with the rocks and stuff. I really enjoy doing that. I find that really therapeutic as well, just putting down the rocks and stuff like that, recolouring them and making those little plant borders. Sometimes though that can obviously be really time consuming, so I didn't want to do that in every single area of the house. I do this in quite a lot of my builds, and I know a lot of people do it too, just because I think it can really like add that little bit more to the build and the landscaping, rather than just being a bunch of plants down with no real kind of structure to it. And then for those little I don't really know what to call them. I guess they're just like garden boxes or planter boxes that I made with the half walls. I also added a little garage as well. Well, it's not little, it's quite a big garage. Obviously, cars are not in the game. You can't use the cars. I never add garages to my builds just because I don't see the point. I definitely don't ever really add cars or anything like that on the driveways. But I just thought it would look nice, and it was looking a little bit bare, like with just like a driveway. And I knew that I wanted to add a garage and do like a converted garage. But in the end, I actually decided to furnish it like it is a garage with like storage things in there. I think a lot of people do tend to put, I personally don't have a garage, but I have lived in houses where we had something similar, where it was just like a massive shed for my dad. My dad actually built his own garage. God, how many times I'm going to say garage? But my dad actually built his own garage at one of the houses that we lived in. And yeah, it's just one of the things where there's just like loads of stuff, isn't there? There's like your Christmas decorations might be in there, old bits of furniture that you don't use anymore, tools, old hoovers or vacuum cleaners, like just random stuff like that. There's always something, so I end up doing that later on. And then for the back garden, I decided to go with adding a pool. I don't think I've added a pool to any of my builds on my channel before. Oh no, I have. I did the Walt Disney's house. There was a pool in that video. But other than that, I don't think I have. I might be wrong, but I know I've not done one for a while. I don't know why. I guess just because I don't really use pools that much in The Sims. Not in this one anyway, The Sims 4. I think it's just because if I want my Sims to get like the fitness skill and stuff, I just tend to send them out to the gym because it's really like the only time that they leave the house. Otherwise, like they'll just be born on the lot, age up, move out, live in their own house, and then like die there. So my Sims never really leave the house. So I like to take them out of the house by going to the gym if they want to get the fitness skill up. I mean, usually I just send them on a jog and that's enough for me. But yeah, I don't know, I just thought it's a big back garden. It's quite a big house. They probably have a lot of money. The Sims that I end up putting in this house are like quite high up in their careers, and they clearly have a lot of money to afford a house this big, so why not have a pool as well? But going back to the landscaping side of it, again, the back garden is left to be quite, I guess, basic. I did a few of those window boxes, added a couple of trees. I had that little, I guess, play area thing for the kids. I also add some other toys to that later off camera. So when you if you wanted to download the build off the gallery, you'll see that there's like toys in that area as well and some activities for children to do. Also, my gallery ID is Sims Hutch if you want to download this build. But yeah, the landscaping. I was just thinking, like, while I was talking about it, that as much as I enjoyed the landscaping in The Sims 4, that hasn't like always been the case. At least with The Sims 4, I've always enjoyed it. But when I look back on like other Sims games I've played, The Sims 2 is like my most played Sims game like of all time. So I obviously played that game a lot. Landscaping in that, I absolutely hated it. And it's because the plants that you put down were like I think all of them were interactable. So unlike in The Sims 4, you just put them down and they just stay as they are. You don't really need to do anything with them ever again. But in The Sims 2, if you didn't play it, you would need to water them. You'd need to like prune them. They'd get like weeds. Sometimes they'd get like bugs and stuff, like flies going around them or whatever, or ants. I think you could sometimes get. So you had to like deal with that. And yeah, it was just really tedious, like having your Sim water them every single day pretty much. Or I mean, you could get like a gardener and that, but I don't know. For some of my Sims, like they couldn't afford a gardener, so I didn't really ever like do that. So yeah, I used to put like one tree down or like one bush and just deal with that. But yeah, in The Sims 4, the plants don't need any attention at all, really. Obviously, the ones that come with seasons or just the gardening skill in general do, but the like outdoor, like landscaping plants and stuff like that. But I can kind of see the negative side to that as well. Like, I would like the option to be able to have all plants require watering. At least the indoor ones anyway. I probably wouldn't like that for the outdoor ones. Not with how many plants I put down, but yeah, I think for the indoor plants, like just to be able to water them, to have it as an option anyway, like maybe you could turn it off in the game options or whatever. Obviously, I know some people probably wouldn't want that, but I think they could have introduced that with seasons, like being able to water the indoor plants, or at least have the option to anyway. Another reason why I didn't want to spend too long landscaping, by the way, I will talk about the rest of the build, it's not just going to be talking about landscaping, but a reason why I didn't want to spend like too long on it was just because I'd spent like a long time doing the exterior of the house anyway, and I knew that the build was going to be quite long. I think altogether the exterior took me about 3 hours, and then a bit of additional time for little things I went in afterwards with like the back garden. I think I had a couple of things later on. But yeah, and then the interior took me about 2 hours. So it was just under 6 hours to do all together, which, I mean, it isn't too bad. I know there will be some people that hear that and think, oh my God, 6 hours, that's like ages. And there'll be some people that are like, God, 6 hours, is that it? But yeah, it does take me longer to do things in general. Like editing's a longer process for me. Sitting down to do the voiceover and stuff like that. It takes time to do that. It's not just a case of me sitting down and just talking. I do have to like make notes, otherwise I'll just go wildly off topic. That's just the nature of having ADHD, but like it just takes me longer in general to do things, no matter what it is. So yeah, I didn't want to like go too overboard with the landscaping because the house is so big and stuff like that. But with me like taking longer to do stuff, it also doesn't help that I'm like really indecisive. Building with just base game helps with that. When I have like more packs to choose from, it makes it even harder to decide. And that's kind of why, well, it's one of the reasons why I limit myself when I'm building with packs. I do it mainly because I want my builds to be accessible to more people so that everybody can kind of get some use out of them. It's why I have quite a few base game builds and also builds where there's just a couple packs being used, just so that as many people can use them as possible. Obviously, I know that not everybody has packs and stuff, and I probably have more than like the average person, but that's mainly so that I can make videos and stuff. But then again, I think even if I didn't make videos, I probably would still, like, I've only just started making videos. It's not like I need to do it. It is obviously just a hobby, but I think I probably would, if I could get all the packs, probably would. I mean, I think everybody would, but maybe not like all of them. I know I would probably never ever get Journey to Batu or Vampires. It's just not for me. But like, yeah, I just think with me being like so indecisive, building with like base game does help. But like the interior sometimes just takes me ages. When I'm building in my own game, it can take me days to like make a full build just because I have all the packs that I have access to. So it's even harder to kind of pick out which objects I want to use and stuff like that. It just helped that I have like favourites. I always tend to go with like the same sort of kitchen when I build for my own like personal game. I tend to go with like the same thing, but when it comes to like making videos, sometimes that additional time, and it takes me so long, is because I'm wanting to make sure that, I don't know, I guess just that everything kind of goes with what I'm imagining in my head and stuff like that. So yeah, I do sometimes struggle when there's like more choice because I am so indecisive. But yeah, for the interior, I didn't really have like a particular style in mind. I did kind of want it to reflect the kind of the Craftsman style that I went with on the exterior. For the parents' bedroom, it is obviously like incredibly, I guess, bougie in a way. Like, I don't think I've ever said that word in my life, but like, just like over the top. And obviously I used that really expensive bed, that, is it Princess Cordelia bed or whatever it is. I also make this, I guess, closet thing, wardrobe, walk-in wardrobe sort of thing, just to kind of use that space up. And I guess if you had money, you probably would have something like that. I know I probably would if I had a lot of money, just have a closet you can walk into and have like a big mirror and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's really like over the top. I've never ever used that bed. I don't really like the style of it. It's not my sort of thing. But I think for this house, it does kind of work. And I did try and fit it into the style that I like. The toddler's bedroom is pretty basic. There's nothing too much going on in there. I always find that building toddler bedrooms, my toddler rooms do tend to be quite basic just because they're not toddlers for very long, so I don't like to go over the top. And I always tend to change, at least in my gameplay, I tend to change the toddler's bedroom when they like age into a child. And then for the teen's bedroom, again, it kind of basic, but I also wanted it to like look like something that you would actually use. I have a teen girl living here in my gameplay, or in my game, and she's quite like an artistic sim. I think she wants to be a painter. Again, I always make creative sims in every single family that I have. There's always got to be at least one sim that's into painting or something creative and stuff like that. Also put her a little pride flag up above her bed, just for like gameplay purposes. That's how I see her in that way. And then for the garage, I did kind of just try and make it, I don't know, like as realistic as possible. Obviously the Sims are not going to use this as an actual garage. I also made this like random money wall thing, no idea why. I think in my head I kind of thought that the dad would be part of the criminal career, or maybe it's just like a stash of money they've got. I don't know why I put that there. I think I just didn't know how to like use that little random corner, and I didn't want to spend too long thinking about it. I got all these items from the debug menu as well. I got them out beforehand because it did take me a while to find them all. I also added some woodworking sculptures as well. And yeah, I just kind of thought they would just use this space for storage. Obviously they're not going to use it as an actual garage for cars. So yeah, I'm going to leave you with the screenshots now. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you later. Bye!